Everyone's talking about the AI bubble. Is it real? Is it going to pop? Will NVIDIA crash? Will OpenAI fail? Here's the thing, you're asking the wrong questions. While everyone's debating whether we're in a bubble, there's a group of companies quietly printing money hand over fist. And they're not the ones you see on CNBC every day. I'm talking about the companies behind the companies, the invisible infrastructure, the ones that get paid whether OpenAI succeeds or fails, whether ChatGPT becomes the next Google or the next MySpace. Today, I'm going to show you exactly who's winning the AI gold rush right now, and more importantly, how you can position yourself to profit from it, whether you're an investor, a worker, or an entrepreneur. By the end of this video, you'll have names, strategies, and a completely different perspective on where the real money is flowing. Let's dive in. The gold rush analogy. Before we get into the winners, let me tell you a story. It's 1849. The California gold rush is in full swing. Thousands of prospectors are flooding into California, convinced they're going to strike it rich. They're digging, panning, spending everything they have on the dream of finding gold. Here's the reality. Most of them went broke. The average prospector lost money. But you know who got rich? Levi Strauss, selling denim pants to miners. Samuel Brannan, who sold shovels and pans. The guys running the supply stores, the boarding houses, the shipping companies. They didn't need to find gold, they just needed gold seekers. That's exactly what's happening in AI right now. Everyone's focused on who's going to build the best AI model, who's going to be the next trillion-dollar AI company. But while everyone's watching that race, there's another group of companies that's already won, because they get paid no matter who crosses the finish line first. The AI bubble might be irrational. Models might be overvalued. Startups might be burning cash. But the infrastructure companies? They're collecting their rent checks every single month. Let me show you who they are. The first category I call the pick and shovel suppliers. These are the companies providing the fundamental infrastructure that every AI company needs to operate. And the beautiful thing about these companies? They have pricing power. They have lock-in. And they're profitable right now. Cloud providers. The landlords. Let's start with the biggest winners: Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud. Here's what most people don't understand. Training a single large language model can cost anywhere from $5 million to over $100 million, and that's just training. Running these models at scale, serving millions of users, that's where the real costs come in. Every single AI startup, from OpenAI to Anthropic to the thousands of smaller companies, they're all renting compute from these three giants. They have no choice. You can't just build your own data center overnight. Look at the numbers. AWS generated over $90 billion in revenue last year. Azure's commercial cloud business is growing at nearly 30% year over year. Google Cloud just crossed $40 billion in annual revenue. And here's the kicker. These companies charge premium rates for GPU instances. We're talking $3 to $5 per hour for a single high-end GPU. Multiply that by thousands of GPUs running 24/7. The math gets crazy fast. OpenAI reportedly spent over $500 million on compute costs in 2023 alone. Guess who got that money? Microsoft Azure. This is the ultimate toll booth business model. Every AI advancement, every new model, every startup trying to compete, they all have to pay the toll. And the switching costs are enormous. Once you've built your entire infrastructure on AWS, migrating to another provider is a nightmare. These companies know it. That's why they're printing money. Actionable insight. If you're investing, these cloud divisions are where the guaranteed AI revenue is. If you're building an AI business, understand that infrastructure costs will be your biggest expense. So negotiate early and hard. Semiconductor fabrication. The monopoly. Now let's talk about TSMC, Taiwan. Semiconductor manufacturing company. You've heard about NVIDIA making the chips. But who makes NVIDIA's chips? TSMC. Who makes AMD's chips? TSMC. Who makes Apple's chips? TSMC. TSMC has a near monopoly on cutting-edge semiconductor fabrication. They're the only company that can produce the advanced 3-nanometer and 5-nanometer chips that power modern AI. Building a competitive fab plant costs over $20 billion and takes years. Intel has been trying to catch up for a decade, and they're still behind. The AI boom means unprecedented demand for advanced chips. TSMC's revenue hit over $70 billion last year, and they're building new fabs as fast as possible because they literally cannot keep up with demand. Every AI chip, whether it's in a data center or in your phone running local AI, it's probably made by TSMC. Actionable insight. TSMC is a geopolitical risk due to Taiwan tensions, but they're also absolutely critical to the entire AI supply chain. They're building fabs in Arizona to diversify, which reduces risk over time. The hidden layer. Power and cooling. Here's something nobody talks about. Data centers running AI workloads consume absolutely massive amounts of electricity and generate tremendous heat. A single AI training cluster can consume as much power as a small city. Cooling that equipment is a massive engineering challenge. So who's winning here? Companies like Vertiv Technologies, which makes cooling systems and power management equipment for data centers. Their revenue grew 20% last year because every new AI data center needs their equipment. Energy companies are winning. Utilities in regions with major data centers are seeing unprecedented demand growth. Natural gas companies are benefiting because data centers need reliable 24/7 power. Even companies making specialized power distribution units, backup generators, and cooling systems are seeing explosive growth. This is the infrastructure beneath the infrastructure. It's not sexy. Nobody's making YouTube videos about data center HVAC systems. But these companies are absolutely essential, and they're making serious money. Actionable insight. Look at the entire supply chain. The companies making components for data centers, the rats that own data center properties, the energy providers. These are stable businesses with growing revenue from AI demand. The arms dealers. The second category of hidden winners, I call them the arms dealers. These are the consultants, lawyers, and service providers helping companies navigate the AI transition. And just like actual arms dealers, they sell to everyone. They don't care who wins the AI race. They just want every player in the game to be a client. RI consulting firms. Let's talk about consulting firms first. Every Fortune 500 company knows they need an AI strategy. They're terrified of being left behind. But most of them have no idea what they're doing. So they hire consultants. And these consultants are charging absolutely insane rates. McKinsey, BCG, Bain, they've all launched major AI practices. Accenture has over 40,000 people working on AI-related projects. Deloitte is hiring AI consultants as fast as they can recruit them. These firms are charging $5,000 to $10,000 per day per consultant. A typical engagement might involve a team of 5 consultants for 3 months. That's over $1 million for a single project. And here's the beautiful part for them. Most of these projects are about strategy and implementation, not actually building AI. They're helping companies figure out where to use AI, how to reorganize teams, how to integrate third-party AI tools. They don't need to create the AI. They just need to know how to talk about it. Smaller specialized firms are winning too. Boutique AI consultancies that help companies fine-tune models or build custom applications are booked solid and charging premium rates. Actionable insight. If you have any technical background in AI or even just deep expertise in an industry, there's a massive opportunity in consulting. Companies are desperate for guidance and willing to pay top dollar. Legal and compliance. Now let's talk about something even less sexy. AI lawyers. With AI comes enormous legal complexity. Copyright issues with training data, privacy concerns with user data, bias and discrimination risks, regulatory compliance. The EU just passed the AI Act. California's working on AI regulations. The FTC is investigating AI companies. Employment law is getting complicated when AI makes hiring decisions. Law firms are creating entire AI practice groups. Companies like Cooley, Wilson Sonsini, and Morrison Foerster are hiring as fast as they can to meet demand. Compliance companies are winning too. Firms that help companies audit their AI systems for bias, document their training data sources, and implement ethical AI frameworks. Here's a specific example. Many companies are now hiring external auditors to assess their AI systems before deployment just to reduce legal risk. These audits can cost $100,000 to $500,000 per system. And insurance companies are getting into the game. AI liability insurance is becoming a thing. Companies are buying policies to protect against AI-related lawsuits. All of this creates an entire ecosystem of legal and compliance businesses that profit from AI adoption, regardless of whether the AI itself is successful. Actionable insight. For lawyers, consultants, or anyone in compliance roles, specializing in AI is a career accelerator right now. The demand far exceeds the supply of qualified people. The aftermarket. The third category of hidden winners is what I call the aftermarket. These are companies that take existing AI models, fine-tune them for specific use cases, and sell them at much higher margins. Think of it like the automotive aftermarket. Ford makes cars, but thousands of companies make money by customizing, repairing, and accessorizing those cars. The same thing is happening in AI. Open source, fine-tuners. Here's the game. OpenAI and other companies release models. Then a bunch of other companies take those models, or use open source alternatives like Meta's Llama, and customize them for specific industries. A company might take Llama, fine-tune it on medical data, and sell it as a specialized diagnostic assistant to hospitals. Another company takes the same base model, fine-tune it on legal documents, and sell it to law firms. The beauty of this approach? The expensive part, the initial model training, has already been done. Fine-tuning costs a fraction of the original training cost. We're talking tens of thousands instead of millions, but the specialized models can command premium prices because they're tailored to specific use cases and industries. Companies like Hugging Face are facilitating this entire ecosystem. They provide the tools and platform for developers to fine-tune and deploy models. They're not building the foundational AI, but they're making money from everyone building on top of it. Vertical-specific AI companies are exploding. There's Harvey AI for legal work, Glass Health for medical diagnostics, Jasper for marketing content. Each of these companies started with existing models and specialized them. They didn't need to spend hundreds of millions on research. They just needed to understand their industry and have the technical chops to fine-tune and deploy models. Actionable insight. If you have deep expertise in any industry, there's an opportunity to build a specialized AI tool. You don't need to train models from scratch. Use existing models, fine-tune them with industry data, and sell the specialized solution. Data companies. Let's talk about data, because it's the other half of the aftermarket story. AI models need data, high-quality, specialized data. And while there's tons of general data out there, getting specific, proprietary data for niche applications is hard, so companies that own valuable datasets are suddenly sitting on gold mines. Medical data companies, financial data providers, industry-specific databases, they're all licensing their data to AI companies for training and fine-tuning. Scale AI built a billion-dollar business basically labeling and cleaning data for AI companies. They don't build AI. They just provide the fuel that AI needs. Analytics companies are winning too. Firms that help other companies understand their data, clean it, structure it for AI use, these are in high demand. Even companies you wouldn't expect are getting into the game. Thomson Reuters licenses legal data, Bloomberg licenses financial data, Getty Images licenses photos, and Sued Stability AI then licensed their data. The smartest data companies realized that in the AI age, their databases aren't just valuable for human use. They're valuable as training data. And here's a trend to watch. Synthetic data companies. These firms generate artificial training data that looks realistic but doesn't have privacy or copyright issues. Companies like Synthesis AI and DataGen are seeing explosive growth because they solve a massive problem for AI developers. Actionable insight. If you work at a company with proprietary data, there might be a business opportunity in licensing or structuring that data for AI use. If you're investing, look at data companies in specific industries. They're often overlooked but positioned to profit from AI demand. How to position yourself for investors. So let's get practical. How do you actually benefit from knowing all this? If you're an investor, here's the strategy. Focus on companies with recurring AI revenue that doesn't depend on any specific AI winner. Cloud providers are the most obvious play. Microsoft, Amazon, Google, they all have massive cloud divisions with guaranteed AI demand. Semiconductor supply chain companies. TSMC is the most important, but also look at companies like ASML, which makes the machines that make the chips. They're literally the only company that can produce certain manufacturing equipment. Data center infrastructure. Look at REITs like Digital Realty or Equinix that own data center properties. Look at Vertiv for cooling and power management. For a more speculative play, look at smaller specialized companies in the aftermarket. Companies building vertical-specific AI solutions in healthcare, legal, financial services. These can be higher risk, but also higher reward. The key principle, invest in the infrastructure layer, not just the application layer. The infrastructure gets paid regardless of which applications win. For workers and entrepreneurs. If you're looking to advance your career or start a business, here's what I'd focus on. First, become an expert in AI implementation, not just AI theory. Companies don't need more people who can train models from scratch. They need people who can actually deploy AI in real business contexts. Learn how to fine-tune existing models. Learn how to integrate AI APIs into workflows. Learn how to evaluate AI tools and choose the right ones for specific problems. Second, combine AI knowledge with deep industry expertise. If you know healthcare inside and out, learn enough about AI to build healthcare-specific tools. If you're an expert in logistics, learn how to apply AI to supply chain problems. The combination of domain expertise plus practical AI skills is incredibly valuable and relatively rare. Third, consider consulting or freelancing. As I mentioned earlier, demand for AI consultants is through the roof. You don't need to be a PhD researcher. You just need to know more than the executives hiring you, which is a pretty low bar. For entrepreneurs, the aftermarket opportunities are massive. Pick an industry you understand, identify a painful problem, and build a specialized AI solution using existing models. You can build a profitable business without raising venture capital or spending millions on research. The other entrepreneurial angle is selling picks and shovels to other AI builders, tools for testing AI systems, platforms for managing prompts, services for labeling data. These are all real businesses that support the broader AI ecosystem. The key insight is this. You don't need to compete with OpenAI or Anthropic. You need to find your niche in the value chain and position yourself where the money is flowing. Let me bring this all together. Everyone's arguing about whether AI is a bubble, whether models are overhyped, whether we're about to see a massive crash. And honestly, that debate doesn't matter as much as people think. Because while everyone's focused on the front-page companies like OpenAI and NVIDIA, there's an entire ecosystem of businesses that are already profitable, already essential, and already winning. The cloud providers collecting rent on every GPU hour. The semiconductor manufacturers with near monopolies on chip production. The consulting firms charging millions to explain AI to confused executives. The specialized AI companies solving real problems in specific industries. These aren't speculative bets on the future of AI. These are companies making money right now, today, from the AI boom. And the opportunities aren't just for investors. If you're strategic about your career, your skills, and where you focus your energy, you can position yourself to benefit from this transition, regardless of which specific AI companies succeed or fail. The gold rush might be chaotic. The prospectors might fail, but the people selling the shovels are going to do just fine. So stop worrying about whether we're in a bubble. Start asking yourself, where in the value chain do I want to be? Who's getting paid right now? How can I position myself to capture some of that value? Because that's the real question. Not whether AI is overhyped, but how you're going to profit from the hype. If you found this valuable, Please like this video and subscribe for more actionable investing and career content. Drop a comment below telling me which category you think has the most opportunity. I read every single comment, and I'd love to hear your perspective. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.